Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, depending on where you're at. And thank you so much for tuning in. This is a very, very interesting segment. First off, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And thank you so much for just the kind words and tuning in. And have a great weekend. This is very interesting. To my super chat, thank you so very much, as always, for supporting me. So, Jeff Sessions, although I'm not a fan of the letter, the whole letter thing, trust the plan. I don't even know. We don't know if we're going to make it across the street. There is no, I don't believe in any predetermined plan in life. All I know is that we should try to make our future the best future possible. That being said, I also think Jeff Sessions was an abomination from, recusing himself just to become attorney general to really, allowing Rod Rosenstein to unilaterally cause havoc in Trump's administration. This cloud of the Mueller probe based on no evidence at all. There's zero evidence Trump worked with Russia. There's zero evidence that Russia even influenced the election. Who cares if there were Facebook ads? And I was looking at the indictments yesterday of the Russian nationals of the other day, because I had a very cool person, a really, really like a good person who just disagreed with me on the live chat. And this was, if it's like a rational disagreement, I'm down with that. I'm fine with that. And so I actually read the indictments, but then I realized, wait a second, the United States government never looked at the computer servers. So all the indictments say, these Russian nationals hacked the DNC and they did so at this time. That's not from the NSA looking at the servers. That's not from the FBI or CIA. That's from CrowdStrike giving images of the servers to the FBI, to Mueller, to the United States government. Big difference. If the U.S. government looks at the servers and then says, oh, yeah, these people hacked the server, that's a different story. If the United States government says, well, these Russian nationals hacked the server, and we know this because a third-party tech firm was outsourced by Hillary Clinton herself, which is what took place. She outsourced CrowdStrike and she outsourced the Steele dossier. She Fusion GPS. She purchased the Steele dossier. But this is very interesting. All Whitaker has to do, and I'm hoping he does this. I know that Clinton will eventually get indicted. I've been saying this since 2016, and we're going on 2019. But when Whitaker, hopefully, I don't know when it happens, but when Whitaker, hopefully Whitaker is the one who presides over this. When Matthew Whitaker drops the hammer and says, look, this person committed crimes. She committed crimes. That's it. She set up a private server outside the United States government. We've recently found out that there were 18 classified emails on Anthony Weiner's computer. And I was watching like Fox News and Geraldo Rivera. This was like last year regarding the story. And he's like, there's not one scintilla of evidence her server was hacked. Well, now we know. Inspector General Charles McAuliffe and Louis Gohmert have both stated. Well, Louis Gohmert cites Inspector General Charles McAuliffe, who stated that China hacked Clinton's emails. Now, even the rebuttal that there's no evidence something was hacked, like it was an unencrypted server with top secret and special access program intelligence. So you don't really need a thank you card. Also, she was Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State, the State Department, the Pentagon are constantly, there are constant every second attempts at hacking by foreign powers. We do it to them, they try to do it to us. So you don't need this proof. And also, where's the evidence that Trump actually worked with Russia? The Mueller probe is based on no evidence, just conjecture and hearsay. At least here you have Clinton, who used a private server, and she did so because of her Clinton Foundation, because she wanted to hide information on donors. Christopher Hitchens was talking about Hillary Clinton long before all of this came to light. But all Whitaker has to do, Matthew Whitaker, he says, look, if they say, well, you didn't even investigate Clinton, he can simply indict based on the James Comey's investigation, because what James Comey stated was, look, we have all this information. She had top secret. She had special access program intelligence. She had information marked classified. Even one email is enough to indict. But she had thousands of retroactively classified emails. She had born classified emails. She had all of these emails that need to reside, that always reside within secure locations. She transferred them in some unique, ingenious, creative manner, and we don't know how she transferred them. Fast forward, so Whitaker can actually just use Comey's original exoneration memo or speech before Strzok deleted references to gross negligence. Peter Strzok, through his own words, was trying to do everything possible to stop Trump, and then use an insurance policy called Trump Russia. But here, if he doesn't want to, if Whitaker doesn't want to go and utilize James Comey's investigation, all he needs to do is say, well, we began an investigation during my predecessor's time, Jeff Sessions. I think what Sessions tried to do is, with Huber, and perhaps even with this email investigation, who knows, is just placate President Trump. Regardless, he can utilize this investigation. This new investigation started under President Trump. It started January 4th, 2018. This is the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast is an extension of the Clinton campaign. They wrote a hit piece on me because I was a Bernie bro. Thank God I'm a Trump supporter now. But I was even more hardcore in a way as a Bernie Sanders supporter. People on the left said, oh, yeah, this guy's crazy, da-da-da. So anyway, the Daily Beast is not the antithesis of a conservative publication. It's so much a Democratic Party publication or newsletter that any threat, left or right, they'll go after. The fact that they were writing about Clinton's emails and the DOJ investigation in January shows you everything you need to know about what Whitaker can do. Justice Department looking into Hillary Clinton's emails again. It's the most scrutinized email server of all time, but the president is demanding it to get scrutinized again. No, it's not the most. This is, with all due respect to the author, it's not the most scrutinized email server of all time. We don't know who gave Clinton the authority to set up a server. We don't know Bryan Pagliano's 4 years of emails are missing. Pagliano's 4 years of emails are missing. And let's just find that the guy who set up Clinton's server, 4 years of emails, 4 years are missing. So Pagliano emails missing. So this is so this is the man at the center of Hillary Clinton's email scandal. This is Shane Harris is actually a wonderful journalist. He is a brilliant journalist. Even though he's published in the Daily Beast, he's a brilliant journalist. He really is. I like his work, and he's written about the Clinton email scandal. He's written some of the greatest articles on this scandal. This is the New York Post. Hillary's IT tech who apparently never used email. So And also, the Russian hackers apparently never used email either. So here you have a situation. Where you have somebody, the guy who set up the server, the emails are missing. There are no emails for this guy. Hillary's IT tech will apparently never used email. Bryan Pagliano's emails have gone missing. This is 4 years, by the way. The State Department confirmed last week. Is anyone really surprised that the guy Hillary Clinton hired to keep her communications secret also seems to have scrubbed his own? Back in 2009, Clinton hired Bryan Pagliano to set up and maintain that now infamous homebrew email server. She also had him hired at State, whose bureaucrats were more than a bit befuddled at having the first ever political appointee in the IT department. So she hired her own IT guy at State Department. Okay, this is like everyone from Geraldo Rivera to, the MSNBC people. They need to find out who gave Clinton the authority, number one. Because President Obama stated he didn't know. He lied about that, by the way. That's fake news. They're guilty of everything they accuse others of being and doing. State's admission was prompted by the Republican National Committee's lawsuit seeking Pagliano's emails. So what's happening with these emails? Frankie boy! Liar, pants it up. Frankie boy! Hope all is well. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Frankie boy. Thank you. Thank you, Frankie boy. Yeah, exactly. So Pagliano started invoking his right against self-incrimination the instant he was asked to testify on Clinton's email mess. Before leaving State, did he purge his own email trail from the department's servers to eliminate any possible incriminating evidence? Could you imagine if the Mueller probe, with its breakthrough, Michael Cohen's doors, we're going to make him flip and sing. Well, Cohen turned out to be, lame. But could you imagine? I mean, Mueller, he didn't care if there was evidence. He just wanted to hurt people. He just wants to hurt people and make their lives miserable. So maybe they could squeeze out something. Could you imagine if that type of law enforcement was used against Clinton? You would have Bryan Pagliano spilling the beans. You'd have Justin Cooper. You'd have that guy Bentel at the State Department. You'd have had so many people. This is the New York Post. He may be explaining it all to the FBI. Yeah, right. This was actually written before we knew that there was the cover-up. Pagliano has been given immunity in exchange for full cooperation. Why wasn't Carter Page given immunity? Why wasn't General Flynn given immunity? Nobody was given immunity during the Mueller probe. Why? Because they wanted to twist and flip and sing, and they wanted to hurt people. No, but they gave out immunity like candy, which is what Jason Chaffetz stated. They didn't care. Burmas, thank you. They didn't care. They didn't want to get the truth. They gave immunity. Why did they give immunity? So actually, to protect Clinton. If you give somebody immunity, then you know what? Now I don't know how often. I mean, the immunity could be revoked if, for example, Pagliano was subpoenaed and he did not show up to the hearing. So I mean, you could revoke immunity because of that. Trump doesn't seem like the type of guy like a Bernie Sanders. Bernie, bless his heart, he's a good human being, but he's the type of guy who he's okay getting walked all over. And maybe Bernie Sanders' role was always to just push the Democratic Party left, not take any power from them, not revolutionize or really change the system on the left. Maybe it was just a gentle nudge, a gentle nudge. Australian news, Aussie J. Please pray with me. The Liberals lose election today in Victoria as they are aligned with MSM and Deep State. We are praying with you, and we hope the people you want elected are elected. Australian News Aussie J, thank you. And we hope that they help Julian Assange. And I know you care about Julian Assange as well. Aussie J, thank you. Thank you, Aussie J. Frankie boy, thank you. So state submission was so Pagliano started invoking his right against self. He may be explaining it all to the FBI. No, he wasn't. We know that he wasn't. Okay. The Clinton campaign is yet to comment on the news. So all of his emails, 4 years of emails, are missing. Just missing. No emails found for Hillary Clinton's senior IT staff at State Department. Isn't that interesting? Guess who's the head of the State Department now? Guess who's the head of the State Department? A guy named Pompeo. You think he is? You think he's trying to get old Pagliano's emails? Probably. Probably. The State Department said it can't find Bryan Pagliano's emails from the time he served as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton's senior information technology officer during her tenure there. Pagliano would have been required to turn over any official communication from his work account before he left the government. State Department officials say he had an official email account, but they can't find any of those records. So he had a state.gov account. The government has everything. The government has everything. You don't need an investigation to indict Clinton. She committed crimes. She ripped up legal statutes. And so all of this, like, oh, it's the most scrutinized email server of all time. We don't know how she transferred. You can't transfer even non-classified information. You just can't transfer information outside of the United States government onto a server. Especially you can't transfer top secret and special access program intelligence and classified intelligence and classified emails marked classified and emails that would eventually be classified. You can't do that. Bryan Pagliano found a way to do that. So, but let's read this. So this is the DOJ email probe, a new one, while Sessions was in office. So Whitaker, child of Yah, thank you. Thank you, child of Yah. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Child of Yah, thank you. Whitaker doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. He doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. Justice Department looking into Hillary Clinton's emails again. This is January of 2018. Justice Department officials are taking a fresh look at Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server while she served as Secretary of State. There you go. Justice Department Washington headquarters described it as an effort to gather new details on how Clinton and her aides handled classified material. Official questions. Now, this is important. This is really, really, really important. It's what I've been saying forever. I repeat myself 10,000 times a day in thousands and thousands of emails. I mean, in thousands and thousands of segments. But here, an ally of, okay, so officials' questions include how much classified information was sent over Clinton's server, who put that information into an unclassified environment, and how, who put that information into an unclassified environment, and how, and which investigators knew about these matters, and when. This is game, set, match. I am going to tweet this out. This is going to vindicate all of us. Just like Trump's presidency vindicated all of us, this will be ultimate vindication. They did a number on Trump and his family and certain associates he had, or people really he wasn't even really associated with. Say this forever. Actually, say it until there's indictments. They're looking into Jeff Sessions' DOJ, how How enthusiastically they were looking into it, who knows? But who put that information into an unclassified environment, and how did they put that information into an unclassified environment? How? Did they take photos? Did they just plug the server into they just plug government servers into her server and transfer it that way? How did she do so? And who gave her the authority? Who allowed it to happen? It's not that difficult, ladies and gentlemen. This is not that difficult. This is not like, reinventing the wheel or inventing the wheel or whatever. This isn't like a very difficult thing to do. Exactly. Aussie J, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. There's only so much we can all take. So how did, because you have a classified environment and you have an unclassified environment. This isn't like, it's not difficult for Matthew Whitaker. Now, why it took so long to invent the wheel? I'm sure I use that, idiom or phrase. I actually probably used it wrong. I know. Wheels are the archetype of primitive caveman level technology. But in fact, they're so ingenious that it took up until 3500 BC for someone to invent them. Wow. Wowzers. Took a long time to invent the wheel. Anyway, this is not like Quest for Fire. Kyle Frank, we must keep working to get the rest of the former Bernie bros on the Trump train to create the greatest voting coalition of all time. Much love. Kyle, thank you. Kyle, thank you very much. Kyle, I'd love that. But a lot of the Bernie bros have gone even further left. So some of them have gone further left. Some of them have gone further left. Some of them have just, melted into the I'm with her crowd. And some of them, Roosevelt Media, thank you. Some of them have become, Trump supporters. I think that a small number of Bernie Sanders supporters have become Trump supporters. I think generally they just, I'm with her / socialist. Don't you love socialists who eventually vote Clinton? I love that. Mr. I'm sad to say, but Trump will not get my vote without major arrest. No, I agree with you, Mr. I agree with you 100%. I mean, something needs to happen. What is the point of voting if the cabal is running the show? Yep, I agree. I agree with you. Hillary Clinton will never give him a day of peace. Ever. Questions include how much classified information was sent over Clinton's server, who put that information into an unclassified environment, and how, and which investigators, Peter Strzok, knew and when. Matthew Whitaker has everything. This is like, a Gary Payton alley-oop Sean Kemp. This is not just a slam dunk. This is a Sean Kemp breakaway dunk. You don't need anything more than what you already have. By the way, press 1 if you remember how good Gary Payton and Sean Kemp were. Press 1 if you remember how good Gary Payton and Sean Kemp were. Press 2 if you just don't know what the heck I'm talking about or don't care. Yes, Stephen. Casey. Jeffrey. All right. Ron, Greg. Yep. Okay. Prototype, Brad. Yep. Denise. Oh, Denise. Oh. That's right. Okay. Okay. There's lots of twos, but still lots of ones. More I get more to. Yeah. Yep. Sunny. Yep. John. So thank you, everyone. So let's continue reading, because who put that information into an unclassified environment and how? If it's an internal DOJ probe, then almost certainly Whitaker has the information. The media is the last to know. The media is the last to know. I don't know when the indictments are going to happen. I don't know. I do believe, I have been saying, that they're going to happen. Now, I'm not perfect, as you all know, but I have the pulse of what's going on. I am definitely not perfect, but I have the pulse of what's going on. More often than not, things that I believe are going to happen, they happen more often than not. The biggest one being Clinton losing the election. But again, I'm not perfect. I'm only human. But I can tell you that Clinton will get indicted. I just don't know when. And there's an internal DOJ probe that was publicized for a second, and then nobody talked about it. So it was publicized for a second and nobody talked about it. So there you go. I mean, if you have Hillary Clinton with information transferring top secret intelligence from Cyprian, JWICs, and SCIFs, and you have the DOJ asking, well, who sent it over? Who sent the information over? That's important. That's important. That's the foundation and the basis for any indictment. That's the foundation and the basis for any indictment. She broke laws. Okay. Her defense would be, well, he allowed me to do it. That is not a defense. You can't simply say, well, that person allowed me to do it. That's not a defense. An ally of Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who's from, a former officials are acutely aware of demands of President Donald Trump. They are looking into Clinton's use of private email server while Secretary of State. And they lock up her top aide, Huma Abedin. And then it tweets crooked Hillary Clinton's top aide. You gotta love Trump, because who else is going to speak like this? Crooked Hillary Clinton's top aide, Huma Abedin, has been accused of disregarding basic security protocols. She put classified passwords into the hands of foreign agents. Remember sailors' pictures on submarine? Deep state justice must finally act? ? Also on Comey and others. So there you go. There you go. There you go. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So, all right. So let's continue. Oh my God. Why did I just got out. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. So You don't have to. They're going to. The rebuttal will be, "Oh my God, he told the Justice Department to put her in jail." No, you follow the evidence, and that's it. If the rebuttal to crimes is, well, this isn't fair because it was covered up fair and square. That's not a rebuttal. Well, it was already looked into. No, it wasn't. That's not a rebuttal. Certainly, you can't refute the fact that Clinton committed crimes. You certainly can't refute that. Tech epiphany. If Trump does not play CNN and cut me smarter, he won't get reelected. Yep. He gives them too much fodder. No, I agree with you. What happened to Dana Roebuck? Physical proof that Russia did not. They're meeting Julian Assange. What they were able to do to Rohrabacher and to Trump, I thought people were smarter than that. You are tech epiphany. You're right. And one thing, I think one way to CNN is becoming just a propaganda machine beyond what Fox ever was. Fox used to be an overt propaganda machine. It's friendly to Trump, but it's not as like rabid as MSNBC is for the Democratic Party and against Trump. Just the other day, or whatever, it's like, oh my God, you said this word. Oh, that's so. We apologize on Fox. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. You used the word associated with measles. Oh my God. Tech epiphany. I agree with you. One way, because Trump can't sit down with like Anderson Cooper. That's just not in Trump's nature to just sit down and have a discussion. Like they go after him. Like he has to keep his cool. One way is to simply have the DOJ follow the evidence. If they follow the evidence, they'll indict Clinton. And then CNN will spend every waking moment defending Hillary Clinton's crimes, which would be fantastic. Which would be absolutely fantastic. Philip Petskow. Philip, thank you so much, Philip. Thank you, Philip. Aussie J, Australian News Aussie J. How does Hillary tell Congress she didn't know about classified protocols, but tells countless reporters she knew classified? Yeah, well, that's the thing. Just what she said about, Europe the other day was hilarious. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. The media is complicit. That's why Trump needs to undermine them. If he can use their momentum against them, that's the only way right now, because they are actually too powerful for Trump. Even though he's president, he was able to win in 2016 by outmaneuvering the media. The media wasn't ready. The media weren't ready. CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, they weren't ready. They had to contend with Bernie. They had to slowly kind of engage in a, surreptitious undermining of his candidacy. And then we know from the DNC emails that, the fix was in from the start. From the start. But it's like, I agree with, I very much agree with Tech Epiphany. Trump has to utilize, if he can't deal with CNN in a more constructive manner, then he has to utilize their momentum against them. Aussie J defies logic, my dear Spa. Madge Mac, time for the holy. Madge Mac. Yes. So yeah, I mean, he was able to see, like, there's nothing that, yeah, I mean, he kept the Senate, which is, where the true power resides in terms of impeachment and judges and all that. But 2016, nobody saw Trump coming. They didn't realize the groundswell. They didn't realize the momentum that he had. They have geared up for the past 2 years, and they have brainwashed people who ordinarily wouldn't be susceptible. You know, when I have one of my buddies who is a doctor, not to say that doctors or lawyers or possess wisdom. Just because you're intelligent doesn't mean you have wisdom. But the guy is a smart guy. And he goes to me, you're a Jewish Trump supporter? How could that be? It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Why didn't you treat Obama this way when all the tragedies were happening under Obama? And they've fomented this, and it's actually not. There are no disagreements really with his policies. I mean, there are, but those disagreements happen with any president. They foment this mania. They foment this hatred, and it builds and it builds. You see what he's doing now? He's crazy. He's a crazy person. They don't understand that a lot of it is a shtick, just like President Obama's shtick. Oh yeah, I didn't really know. I didn't really know about a server. They foment this. John, thank you. I hope. Johnny 5. There's a White House petition. That's right. That would be amazing. I think it was taken down, but that would be too funny. That would be amazing. Johnny 5. Because Acosta is basically the left's version, in a way. Julie Kent. Me and you, Julie Kent. JB Goth. Johnny 5. Yeah, I mean, one second. It's unbelievable because once Clinton does get indicted, you will have people, and they'll do what they did. Like when I was saying that Clinton would lose, they're like, "Oh, he's crazy, clickbait, crazy." Then it's like, "Oh yeah, we already knew." It's like, no, you weren't saying that. You weren't saying that you knew for so long. You were saying that you were 100%, and then but use the Clinton's the media's momentum against itself. But anyway, so let's continue. Oh, yeah, political opponents. And Clinton actually investigated, and she targeted her own political opponent using the Steele dossier. She purchased the Steele dossier to target President Trump. There was the FBI had nothing, no evidence the Steele dossier was linked to Trump at all. So, and then of course if the White House asks you to look into it, the answer is to tell the White House to stay out of investigations and prosecutions. Yeah, just like Obama stayed away when Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Just like Eric Holder, he was criminal. He found in criminal and civil contempt of Congress. So let's see. This goes on. The article goes on. Sessions directed senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues. Okay, these senior federal prosecutors, you can't, if they're too senior, they're just going to be part of the establishment and not care and let her get away with everything. The chairman was concerned about. He also wrote that those prosecutors would, quote, make recommendations as to whether any matters not currently under investigation should be reopened or should be opened. See, you don't even need that. And they would send those recommendations directly to the Attorney General and his top aide, Deputy Rod Rosenstein. So yeah, that's not going to fly. That's not going to fly right there. Stephen Boyd, who heads the Justice Department's Office of Legislative Affairs, appeared to hint that the department's interest in Clinton emails in a letter To House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte on November 13th. In the letter, Boyd wrote that Sessions directed senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues the chairman was concerned about. Now, interestingly enough, Rod Rosenstein is like this ally and friend of the left. If he presides over Clinton email indictments, they won't be able to. Like, if he's the one who actually reads off the indictments, they're going to have a real hard time saying, "Oh my God, the sky is falling," which would be hilarious. Then, of course, Bryan Fallon states, "This is perfunctory. These are perfunctory steps to give Trump and his allies something to talk about and point to, and something to give Fox News to devote segments to, as opposed to MSNBC and CNN to give every single segment they have." I think that even here. The justice should not be opening itself to the perception that it is bending to political pressures from the White House. The White House pressured the Justice Department throughout 8 years through Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. And Obama was smart enough, just like Bush was smart enough, that he didn't have to say, "Hey, do this." He appointed people who were like-minded and did everything possible to achieve a collective goal of the Democratic Party, of President Obama, of Hillary Clinton. Conservative to the core. Thank you, HA. Conservative to the core. Thank you. Thank you for always watching. Thank you for always watching. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you, Conservative to the core. Thank you. Fast and Furious. How many scandals? How many scandals? Like endless scandals with Obama. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. So whenever you hear senior DOJ prosecutors, just, it's like, oh no. Aussie J. Gotta paint my house. All right, Aussie J. Excellent. Dylan Robinson, CNN, number 9, primetime behind Annie and History Channel. It's true. But enough people watch them to get completely brainwashed. So, let's see. Let's continue. William, thank you. Let's continue here. So I'm reading the Daily Beast's article that talks about the DOJ opening an investigation. Here we go. I think that this is Bryan Fallon. I think that it's extremely dangerous and that the Justice Department should not be opening itself to the perception that is bending to political pressures from the White House. Oh, but what if there's actual criminal acts? What if there were actual criminal acts committed by your boss, Hillary? The Justice Department is supposed to operate independently of the White House. Yeah, right. And even if it's just a perfunctory step that they're taking, try to appease the president, that in of itself is abuse of the DOJ authority. No, it's not. No, it's not. If there's a criminal and if there's a criminal conspiracy within the U.S. government that was protected by the U.S. government under Comey and Obama, then you have to expose these criminal acts. And then you get into like fantasy here in this article. Clinton's use of a private email server, which the FBI previously investigated. No, they didn't. When this was written, we didn't know the extent of Comey, Peter Strzok's text messages, internal communication within the FBI, the fact that in the IG report, you had people who lied to the FBI. You had one person who actually lied to the FBI. The FBI didn't care. This was while they were investigating Clinton emails, and declined to recommend for criminal prosecution. They declined to recommend. It wasn't their call. The DOJ should have decided. Became a huge issue on the campaign trail. Okay, so He said, because you'd be in jail. It's awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the laws of the law in our country. She's talking about the law. She's a criminal. And then he goes, because you'd be in jail. Yeah, well, now it's time to step up, President Trump. Now it's time to step up. They completely fabricated crimes and tried to paint you as a criminal, even though and enough people believe this. That's the problem. In the weeks after the exchange, and he doesn't have to wait for the Mueller probe also to end. That dumb thing might never. It'll end, but then it'll morph into some kind of House investigation. Who cares? Just indict Clinton. And if what can Mueller do? What can Mueller do? They're not gonna. He's not gonna get him on obstruction, which is the only thing possibly that they could have, gotten Trump on, which actually would have been unconstitutional in and of itself. It's just, it never ends. The insanity never ends, The insanity never ends. Trump needs to pull, this is like Sun Tzu. Trump needs to pull a Sun Tzu. And he needs to utilize the media's momentum, the Democratic Party's protection of a criminal enterprise against themselves. He has to use all of this against the Democrats and the media. Sun Tzu. Momentum. On the power of momentum. So, trying to find a couple of quotes here. Momentum. Thus, the energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down a mountain thousands of feet in height. So much on the subject of energy. Okay. The quality of a decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike its victim. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing. Okay, so there you go. This is really cool. Anyway, Trump needs to act because it'll pay dividends. Catherine, I agree with you. I think that the window of time is running out, though. There's a window. There's a window right now that I just think that there's a window of time. Nels, hello. Patrick, hello. Osh, hello. I think the answer to that is obviously Hillary. It's certainly a positive development out of Fitton, whose organization sued for the release of thousands. Part of what we've been demanding. I mean, when it goes down, and it will go down eventually, and even the other day, obviously, Tom Fitton is like the tip of the spear on this of Judicial Watch. He is the man The man. Everyone subscribe to Judicial Watch. They're absolutely amazing. It will be because of the pressure that he is imposed upon, because he's kept. We know of classified emails on Anthony Weiner's computer. That's it. So they didn't investigate this. There wasn't an investigation. And when the media does its best to just do anything possible to muddy the waters, just keep asking, how did she transfer the how did she transfer the material? So this is here. Clinton's use of a private email server, which the FBI previously investigated. They didn't investigate anything. They compiled some evidence, which can be used right now to indict, but they didn't really investigate how she transferred, who enabled her to transfer. They don't even have, apparently, Bryan Pagliano's emails. They never asked Clinton how she transferred the information. I mean, who knows what they even asked Clinton during Peter Strzok's brunch? It wasn't an interrogation. It was a brunch. James Comey made an unprecedented public statement. Yeah, because he had an unprecedented cover-up, blasting Clinton's use of a server, but then explained why the Bureau wouldn't recommend she or any of her associate be prosecuted. Well, blasting Clinton's use of a server was enough to indict. The political decision Comey made is one reason he was fired. He made a political decision. He first explained his law enforcement or FBI investigation that did come up with an endless amount of evidence that showed she committed crimes. Then he said, well, she didn't mean to do it. Not his call. Not his call. People should be encouraged that new leadership of the Department of Justice is actually interested in a nonpartisan, above-board Justice Department that treats every citizen equally. Look, when it goes down, they're going. So this is already, ladies and gentlemen, I spent like close to an hour on there's already an investigation. There was already an investigation. It took place under Sessions. Scott Bullion, thank you, Scott. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you, Scott. Mick Fitz, I'm here for more. John O'Brien. Days. If you say a derogatory word about Deborah Wasserman Schultz, a wonderful individual, I had Thanksgiving dinner with Deborah Wasserman, my good friend, Deborah Wasserman. It was a fantastic dinner. We talked about Medicare for all. We talked about the fact that Democrats will never, in a million years, pass a bill called a Medicare for all bill. They gave me my marching orders. Continue to pretend that we have some kind of power within the DNC. Thank you, Elron. Thank you. I want everyone to know that this coming year, I'll continue to talk about Medicare for all as the House investigates Trump's underwear. Trump's underwear comes from Moscow. Russian underwear. Dylan Robinson. I believe Trump's going to win. Dylan, I believe Trump's going to win. I've been saying that forever. 2020. Red Damsel. Use the draft function within Gmail, never sent, but anyone can log on to a certain Gmail and just save draft. Yeah, you talking about the Uma Abedin? That's true. Uma Abedin. John O'Brien. Trumpy tried to politicize the DOJ. We all know that the Department of Justice has been completely autonomous. Only a man like Trump. Michael L. LaRusso, the Bernie impersonation is priceless. Don't stop. Michael, thank you. If you say a derogatory word about Hillary Rodham Clinton, she has suffered for you. She suffered for your sins. She deserves to be president. But Trump is an ogre, a horrible, horrible person. He doesn't want Medicare for all. And neither do the Democrats, but don't tell anyone. Frank! Sessions did not get fired, did a great job behind the scenes, and did what Trump asked from him December 5th, prepared for takeoff. I hope so. Oh. P.S. I missed the bubble dolls. You know what? Frank! Trump 2020, no doubt. Destroy the Fed. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Matt, I have no idea, but I'll be watching that game. My team lost for the first time in 4 years or 3 years. Well, we're 3-3, and we're still up 15 in the rivalry. USC, UCLA up 15. USC's up 15. John O, happy Friday, HA from the Bronx. The Bronx! My dad was born in the Bronx. I love the Bronx. My father was born in the Bronx, love the Bronx. Happy Friday, HA from the Bronx. You inspired me to stop complaining and fight for the things I believe in and taking the local GOP and Independence Party to run. Yes! In New York 14, taxman John for Congress. That's great. John, do it. Do it, baby. Do it. You know, I'm starting a website that actually might actually help you. So my website's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. Don't believe H.A. Goodman's new website. It's full of propaganda. It's full of horrible, 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 horrible things. Do not believe it. And it's probably a plot by Pol Pot. Horace! Let's look at that. Horace, let's look at this. Horace, thank you as always, my friend. Shabbat Shalom, by the way. I'm trying to... Oh, I thought you put a URL. Horace! Okay. The investigator asked HSC if she knew the airspeed velocity. Horace. Hashtag true. Horace, this is code. This is a code for something. This is part. Was this in Sun Tzu's Art of War? No, I guess she really flung from the bridge. Horace, thank you. John O, thank you. Frank, thank you as always. Hope all is well, Frank. Avi, Shabbat Shalom. John O, I'm starting a website, and it's just a really fun website that you will like a lot, and it'll help you. It'll help anyone running against the hard left, which you will be, and you'll love it. You'll love it. William, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so much. Bernie Sanders will spend the next year talking about abolishing ICE, even in iced tea. Thank you, everyone. God bless. Have a great evening. Horace, thank you. Jono, thank you. Frank, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And Kristen, email, thank you. Have just a great evening. I'll be back later this evening. Thank you, everyone. To my super chat, thank you. Thanks. It's been fun.